My Holland America cruise ship just stopped in the Norwegian port of Geiranger, and it's quickly become one of my favorite ports of all time. From the quaint cafes and grass-topped shops at sea level, to the never-ending waterfall going right through the middle of town, to a nearby mountaintop that gives you a stunning view of the nearby fjord from 5,000 feet, there's no shortage of beautiful sights. Join me for the highlights of my unforgettable port stop in Geiranger, Norway. Hey cruisers, Andrew from Ottawa, Canada here. Welcome to the Chill Cruiser, where I review cruise ships and ports from a chill perspective, while sharing tips on how to save time, money, and grief on your cruise vacations. It's day 8 of my epic 77-day cruise adventure throughout Europe, and I just disembarked a cruise to Norway on Holland America's beautiful new ship, Rotterdam. One of our stops was in the port of Geiranger, which is a UNESCO heritage area in Norway at the end of the stunning fjord that also bears its name. It only has a population of 250 people, but it's bustling with tourism in the summer from campers, adventure seekers, and cruise ships. After spending the day here, I can tell why. Its location means a stunning show as you cruise in and out of the fjord, passing epic scenes with various rock formations and waterfalls. The town itself has a lot to offer, from quaint cafes and restaurants to a waterfall and rapids flowing through the middle of town to multiple vantage points to enjoy the fjord from varying altitudes. There's the top of the local waterfall a few hundred feet above sea level. There's the look at 1,000 feet, and then you can go as high as 5,000 feet at the peak of Mount Dalsinabba, which is only a 30-minute tour bus and countless switchbacks away from the cruise port. I experienced the last two as part of a shore excursion organized by my cruise ship called Mount Dalsinabba and Eagle Road. My apologies in advance for probably butchering all of the Norwegian location names. We started with the Ørnevegen viewpoint, which has an elevation of 600 meters or about 2,000 feet. This spot was high enough to give you a sense of the scale of the fjord, while still being close enough to appreciate its rugged beauty. The large viewing platform also features a cool built-in waterfall. Our second stop was Flydalsjuvet, which is 1,000 meters or 3,200 feet above Geiranger. On the way, we passed one of many waterfalls we would see that day. This stop is behind the town and offers a great distant look at the fjord. We then started the drive up to Mount Dalsinabba with many switchbacks offering stunning views of the mountains and a deep lake. This was probably one of the most scenic bus rides I've ever experienced. As we got higher, we got a close-up look at the unique rock formations that have a blue hue to them. Once we arrived at the skywalk at 5,000 feet, we enjoyed a jaw-dropping view of the town and the fjord from what feels like the clouds. You can enjoy the view from the platform, or you can be a little adventurous and walk onto a sloped, rocky part of the mountain to get a little bit of a closer view. We stopped for 30 minutes, but I wish it was an hour or more. There's so much to take in here. There's not only the view, there's also a nice visitor center with coffee and cinnamon buns, and it takes a while to pay. I got a coffee at the end, but the bus driver wouldn't let me bring it on board because of the risk of spilling on other passengers as we drove back down. On the way back to town, you get to enjoy the view again in reverse. It's incredible how quickly you can go up and down 5,000 feet. Once we were back in town, I had coffee in the quaint cafe called Cafe Ola on their main street. After some people watching, I walked to the waterfall that goes almost through the center of town. I walked all 327 steps to get to the top, and after catching my breath, I enjoyed another great perspective of the town and my ship. After enjoying the most scenic bus trip a few hours before, I think this was my most scenic stair climb. After walking down the steps, I went back to Cafe Ola to have a celebratory beer and savor my final few minutes in Geiranger. For such a small town, it's incredible to see how bustling the main street is. Our ship started its journey back through the Geiranger Fort a few hours later, and it was incredible to get such a close-up view. It felt like I was in an epic Hollywood movie like Lord of the Rings. You got a sense of just how epic because it was hard to find an unobstructed spot on all of the upper decks to take it all in. Overall, this was definitely one of my favorite ports of all of my 42 cruises so far in North America, Europe, and Asia. I would highly recommend visiting Geiranger or planning a cruise that stops here. But you unfortunately don't have much time. Norway's passed a law that bans cruise ships that emit greenhouse gases from visiting UNESCO fjords starting in 2026. That means the vast majority of ships won't be able to visit after the 2025 cruising season, including all of the ships and the fleets of the major North American cruise lines. So if this port is on your bucket list, Plan your cruise now. If you'd like to know more about the beautiful Holland America Rotterdam, you can find my first impressions video here, with a full review on the way. If you'd like to follow along for the rest of my European cruise adventure in the British Isles and the Mediterranean, please hit subscribe and check out my pages on Facebook or Instagram. Thank you for watching, and happy cruising.